Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else received a map, and somehow, you were left guessing? Someone your age is buying a house. Someone you grew up with is getting promoted. Someone from your class is traveling the world, building a business, getting married, looking confident, looking successful, looking like they figured something out that you missed. And then there's you. Scrolling at midnight. Promising yourself tomorrow will be different. Feeling tired, but not proud. Busy, but not progressing. Older, but somehow not closer to the life you imagined. And the hardest part is this. You don't always feel lazy. You don't always feel broken. You just feel behind. But what if the problem isn't that you're too late? What if the problem is that your life has been quietly leaking time, energy, confidence, and direction in ways you barely noticed? This is why you feel behind in life and how to catch up. In the next few minutes, I want to show you something most people never understand. Feeling behind is not always about your age. It is not always about money. It is not always about intelligence, talent, luck, or where you started. Sometimes you feel behind because your attention has been stolen. Sometimes because comfort has trained you to avoid the very discomfort that would change your life. And sometimes because you keep comparing your private struggle to someone else's public highlight. But here is the good news. You do not need to disappear for 5 years. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You do not need a dramatic reinvention that looks good online. You need a quiet return to yourself. By the end of this video, you will understand why you feel stuck, why catching up is not the same as rushing, and how small daily actions can make you almost unrecognizable in 6 months. Not louder. Not more desperate. More focused. Because the comeback you are looking for may not begin with motivation. It may begin with finally telling yourself the truth. Let's start with the first reason you feel behind. You are not just losing time. You are losing attention. And attention is the currency your future is built with. Think about a normal day. You wake up and check your phone before your mind even has a chance to breathe. Messages. Notifications. News. Reels. Other people's wins. Other people's opinions. Other people's bodies, houses, relationships, businesses, vacations, routines. Before your day even starts, your brain has already been pulled into 100 different lives. Then you wonder why your own life feels unclear. This is the hidden cost of distraction. It does not always destroy your life in one big moment. It does it quietly. 5 minutes here. 20 minutes there. A whole evening gone. A whole week blurred. A whole year where you were constantly stimulated but rarely satisfied. And here is the dangerous part. Distraction gives you the feeling of movement without the reality of progress. You watched the video. You saved the advice. You liked the quote. You planned the routine. You imagined the better version of yourself. But nothing changed because your energy never became action. And this is where many people get trapped. They don't need more information. They need more execution. They don't need another motivational video. They need 1 hour of undistracted work. They don't need to know what successful people do at 5 a.m. They need to stop betraying themselves at 11 p.m. Ask yourself honestly. How much of your life is being lived? And how much is being consumed? Because one day, the scariest thing will not be that you failed. The scariest thing will be realizing you were distracted for years by things that never truly mattered. And that is why you feel behind. Not because you had no potential. But because your potential kept getting interrupted. Now here's the second reason. Your comfort zone is not really comfortable. It is familiar. And there is a big difference. Comfort says, this is peaceful. Familiar says, this is painful, but at least I know what to expect. That is why people stay in jobs they hate. Relationships that drain them. Routines that weaken them. Friend groups that keep them small. Habits that slowly destroy their confidence. Not because those things feel good, but because change feels uncertain. And uncertainty scares the brain. Psychologically, your mind is designed to protect you from pain, rejection, embarrassment, and risk. So when you try to grow, your brain often sees growth as danger. Starting the gym feels like being judged. Applying for the job feels like being rejected. Posting your work feels like being criticized. Studying again feels like facing how far behind you are. Saving money feels like admitting how much you wasted. So the brain whispers. Start next week. Wait until you feel ready. Do it when life calms down. You're not the type of person who can do that. But listen carefully. Your comfort zone does not always stop you by making you afraid. Sometimes it stops you by making delay feel reasonable. That is the trap. You don't ruin your life by making one bad decision. You ruin it by repeatedly choosing the easier option and calling it just today. Just today, I'll skip. Just today, I'll scroll. Just today, I'll eat badly. Just today, I won't apply. Just today, I'll avoid the hard conversation. But just today becomes your identity when repeated long enough. And this is the moment where you have to be honest with yourself. The life you want is probably not on the other side of more comfort. It is on the other side of tolerated discomfort. Not extreme pain. Not burnout. Not punishing yourself. Just the kind of discomfort that builds self-respect. The discomfort of focus. The discomfort of discipline. The discomfort of being a beginner. The discomfort of saying no. The discomfort of trying again after you disappointed yourself. And here is the first cliffhanger. The version of you who catches up will not feel ready first. They will begin before readiness arrives. Most people make a mistake when they try to change their life. They announce it too early. They tell everyone they are starting a business. They post the gym selfie after 2 days. They talk about the new routine before the routine has roots. They share the dream before they have built the discipline to protect it. And sometimes, that early attention becomes a substitute for real progress. You get applause for the idea, and lose hunger for the work. This is why silent transformation is powerful. There is something sacred about working while no one is watching. No performance. No explanation. No proving. No begging people to believe in the version of you that does not exist yet. Just you, your habits, your standards, and the quiet decision to stop living beneath your potential. Silent transformation means you stop needing immediate validation. You stop checking if people notice. You stop waiting for someone to clap. You stop making your growth dependent on being understood. Because the truth is, some people will not understand your change until they can see the results. And that is okay. You are not changing for applause. You are changing because you are tired of abandoning yourself. Imagine 6 months from now. You are not dramatically different because of one huge decision. You are different because of hundreds of small private choices. You studied when you wanted to scroll. You walked when you wanted to stay in bed. You saved money when you wanted to spend emotionally. You stayed calm when the old you wanted to react. You worked on your skill when nobody cared yet. That is how people become unrecognizable. Not through noise. Through repetition. Not through fantasy. Through evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain collects proof. I can trust myself. I can finish what I start. I can do hard things. I am not stuck being who I used to be. And once your identity changes, your behavior follows. This is why you feel behind in life and how to catch up. You stop trying to look successful. And you start becoming the kind of person success can actually trust. Now let's get practical. Catching up is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right few things consistently. Here are 5 daily habits and mental exercises that can change your direction. First, protect the first hour of your day. Do not give your morning to the world before you give it to yourself. No scrolling. No comparison. No emotional chaos. Use the first hour to create clarity. Move your body. Write down your top 3 priorities. Drink water. Sit in silence. Read a few pages. Work on one meaningful task. Your morning is not just a routine. It is a vote for who controls your life. Second, use the 2-hour rule. Every day, give 2 focused hours to the thing that would actually move your life forward. Your skill. Your business. Your studies. Your career move. Your health. Your creative work. 2 hours may not sound dramatic. But 2 hours a day is 14 hours a week. Around 60 hours a month. Over 700 hours a year. 700 focused hours can change a person. Third, practice identity-based discipline. Do not just say, I need to work out. Say, I am becoming the kind of person who does not negotiate with basic health. Do not just say, I need to save money. Say, I am becoming the kind of person who respects future peace more than present impulse. Do not just say, I need to focus. Say, I am becoming the kind of person who protects attention like it is life energy. Because it is. Fourth, do a nightly self-audit. At the end of each day, ask 3 questions. What did I do today that moved me forward? What did I do today that kept me stuck? What is one thing I will do better tomorrow? No shame. No drama. Just truth. You cannot improve a life you refuse to examine. Fifth, choose one hard thing daily. One uncomfortable conversation. One workout. One application. 1 hour of deep work. One act of courage. One moment where you choose discipline over mood. The goal is not to suffer. The goal is to teach your nervous system. I can survive discomfort. Because once discomfort stops controlling you, your life expands. And here is the second cliffhanger. The day you stop needing life to feel easy before you take action. That is the day you become dangerous to your old patterns. Look at almost anyone who built something meaningful. Before the world saw the result, there was a long season of invisibility. The athlete training before sunrise. The writer deleting bad drafts alone. The student studying while friends went out. The founder building quietly while nobody understood the idea. The person healing privately instead of turning pain into performance. Real success often looks boring while it is happening. It looks repetitive. Quiet. Unseen. Unimpressive from the outside. That is why many people quit too early. They think transformation should feel cinematic every day. But the cinematic moment is earned by the boring days no one clapped for. Your life may not change because of one grand breakthrough. It may change because you finally become faithful to the small things. And one day, people will say, you changed. But you will know the truth. You did not change in one day. You changed daily. So let's bring this together. You feel behind because your attention has been scattered. Because your comfort zone has been quietly controlling your decisions. Because comparison has made your progress feel invisible. Because you have been waiting to feel ready before acting. Because you have consumed more dreams than you have executed. But catching up does not mean panicking. It means returning to the basics with intensity. Protect your attention. Choose discomfort on purpose. Work silently. Build daily evidence. Audit your life honestly. Give your future 2 focused hours a day. And stop measuring your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. Psychologically, this works because your brain changes through repetition. Confidence is not something you magically receive. Confidence is built when your actions repeatedly prove that you can trust yourself. Self-respect is not built by thinking about discipline. It is built by keeping promises when your mood says no. An identity is not changed by saying, "I am different now." It is changed when your daily behavior becomes evidence that the old version of you is no longer in control. This is why you feel behind in life and how to catch up. You do not catch up by rushing after everyone else. You catch up by becoming serious about your own path. So tonight, do not make a huge promise. Do not create a perfect plan you will abandon by Wednesday. Do not tell everyone you are about to change. Just do this. Take out a piece of paper or open your notes app and write one sentence. The version of me I am becoming can no longer afford. Then finish it honestly. Can no longer afford distraction. Can no longer afford excuses. Can no longer afford fake comfort. Can no longer afford people who drain my future. Can no longer afford to keep breaking promises to myself. Then write one more sentence. Tomorrow, I will prove it by. And choose one action. Not 10. 1. Wake up without scrolling. Walk for 30 minutes. Apply for the opportunity. Study for one focused hour. Clean your space. Save the money. Make the call. Delete the app. Start the thing. Because your comeback does not begin when life becomes perfect. It begins when you stop waiting for perfect conditions to respect your own potential. And remember this. You are not behind because your story is over. You feel behind because a part of you knows there is still more inside you. That feeling is not punishment. It is a signal. A signal that your future is asking for your attention. So give it your attention. Give it your discipline. Give it your mornings. Give it your private effort. Give it the version of you that stops disappearing when life gets uncomfortable. And 6 months from now, you may not recognize yourself. Not because you became someone else. But because you finally became the person you were supposed to stop postponing. If this video spoke to you, subscribe and watch the next one, because the next step is learning how to rebuild your life quietly when nobody believes in you yet. And here is the line I want you to remember. You are not late, you are just being called to stop wasting the life that is still waiting for you.